Hi, this is Rob from DMBAlmanac.com with This Week in Dave Matthews Band History, and it's Halloween weekend. DMB have only played Halloween 3 times that we know about, but each was significant. In 1992, they played an additional Saturday night show at Trax. There's a set list and a tape of the first set, though the taper of that source left at intermission. Old band friends Kristen Asbury, Richard Hardy, and Miguel Valdez sat in throughout the set that we have. And most importantly, the band debuted a slower, jammier Halloween than you might know to start off that set. It was the first DMB Chase song, and maybe it's still yours. In 1996, they played Denver on Halloween, and all leading up to the show, fans brought signs for the song with Dave telling him it wasn't quite the season. As the encore, the band ripped through a great version, only the second in a year and a half, and didn't play it again until it was released on Crowded Streets in 1998. In 98's the last year the band played on Halloween, this time in Oakland. Greg Howard and Joshua Redmond joined Tim in guesting with the band throughout the show, and of course the Halloween is fantastic. The show is released as Live Tracks Volume 39, and also make sure you check out that Dreaming Tree. You can find all the sets from Halloween at dmbalmanac.com, and we never stop looking for information on older shows. Maybe we'll find that set too one day. Follow us on Facebook and Threads to get daily updates with everything that happened that day in the band's history.
Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of a band that's been making music for over 30 years. If this is the first time you've ever listened to this podcast, we are going to talk about one band, and that one band is Dave Matthews Band. They started in 1991 in Charlottesville, Virginia. In 91, I was 11. So have I been a fan the whole time? No. And that's the cool thing about this band is there's fans from every decade. Yes, there's fans that started at the moment the band did. And then as time has gone by, they've picked up fans in every decade. And I've even had 10, 11, 12, 13, 18-year-old people on my show talking about how much they love this band. So there's no particular age. This music is rocking the homes of just every age bracket. And so there's so much to talk about and so much history within this band because it is unheard of to hear of a band that's been faithfully on the road, just performing every year and always having a tour schedule. These guys of the Dave Matthews Band work really hard to keep us impressed and keep us coming back for more. So that's what we talk about on this podcast is each individual fan's journey with this band. When did they hear about them and what their journey has looked like since that moment? So this episode is like every episode. I have a fan of Dave Matthews Band on the show to talk about their journey. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where in the world are you, and tell us something cool about you.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I am from a little town in Arizona, northern. It's called Cottonwood, but I just say I'm literally 15 minutes outside of Sedona because everybody knows Sedona.
Gotcha. Yes.
And it's great. I love it here. Something about me, I do charity work. It's very important for me, and I do it actually as a Ghostbuster. I am part of a cosplay group in Arizona. We're a 501c3. And we do events all around the state to either raise awareness for a charity, for like a city or whatever it be, or doing a children's hospital thing, or getting a toy drive for Christmas gifts for kids. So that's kind of my little hidden thing is I get dressed up like a Ghostbuster and when I'm not listening to Dave. And go out and make people smile.
I love that so much. And I know you sent me some pictures of you being a Ghostbuster and the whole thing. So if you're watching this on the YouTube side, just know that you're going to see a picture of that. If you're listening to this just on a podcast side, know that if you want to see Daniel dressed up like a Ghostbuster, you can. You just go to YouTube, space between podcast, and boom, all of the episodes, almost all of the episodes are there. So you can go back and watch and see what these people look like, the pictures they've submitted, and it becomes part of like a visual story. So thank you for sending those pictures in, Daniel.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, when was the very first time, or when can you remember the very first time you ever even heard of Dave Matthews Band?
So it's probably around 1993. I grew up in Southern California and I grew up near a college. So there was a college radio I listened to. I was into, all that alternative and grunge stuff happening at that time.
Hell yeah.
Used to go to a little record store in a college town and pick up cassettes and CDs of bands that weren't even being played on the radio, just like college bands, or go see some shows that they would have there. It was called Rhino Records. They've moved since then, but that was definitely my childhood. And I remember going through, they had like a dollar bin, and I've heard Dave on the radio and stuff, all the popular stuff that would play. But I'm going through with
Sure.
the dollar bin CD, and then I find a Dave Matthews CD, but it's not a CD I've ever seen or heard. Evidently, it was somebody that went to a concert, recorded it, put it on disc, and I guess probably circulated around the college campuses. And I decided to buy it and listen to it. I was like, wow, these guys are awesome live. Way better than studio.
So this was somebody's recorded live
Yeah.
audio.
Yeah.
Wow. For $1. What a deal.
Yeah, it was in a dollar bin.
They didn't know what they had.
No,
And at that
no.
time, I don't know what year that was, but at that time they didn't know.
Yeah, it was definitely early. I couldn't tell you how early, but it definitely was early. So that was kind of cool to have, and I still have it to this day.
Yes.
Um,
Good.
yeah. And so yeah, I listened to like everything, and then I kind of just always listened to music, whatever was popular at the time, and not till really 2006 is where I kind of found them, or they kind of found me during a sad time. And you know, the story goes is I was married young, and I found out that my ex-wife cheated on me, and I went through this whole depression stage because it was the first time. It was literally the first time like I was ever in love and stuff, and so it was a lot of first
God.
in that respect for me.
Yeah.
So I was just in a deep dark place, and I'll never forget the night. It was like a November night, and I'm in a Target, and I'm like, I just gotta find something to listen to, and just listen, and let it guide me in where I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up. It was the best of what's around, and I just picked it up. I went back to the car. It was storming, raining crazy, so I decided to just sit in my car and just listen to it and see what I could pick up. Not till I actually heard the space between is where it really hit me, and him talking about like the fight for love and stuff like that, and and when he says the part about like take my hand because we're walking out of here. To me, that was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking out of this relationship stronger and better, is where I took that. And that was it. It set a whole whirlwind for me. I couldn't stop listening to that song. I bought like all their albums. I started like really listening to it, going deep, getting into Join the Warehouse. I signed up on forums, just gathering everything I could, because for some reason, every time I heard something different, oh my gosh, it just spoke to me. And I'm sure that is for a lot of
Right.
people. And so it actually helped me get through that really rough time in my life. And I'm sure it has for a lot of people. My very first concert was 2007. It was Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in Irvine, California, known as Irvine Meadows, which is big in Southern California. I got to see them there, and I was just blown away by them live.
What takes you looking to go to your first concert? Like, what clicked in your head after you'd heard them? Were you just like, I need to see them live? Or did you just find out they were gonna be kind of close-ish? I don't
Ye-
know how far that is for you,
Yeah,
but
no, it was probably a good almost a year, maybe about nine
okay,
months or
got it.
so after I picked up the CD and stuff, and followed them, and I knew I wanted to see them live because their music had like literally saved my life, in a
Mhm.
way. So I was a fan from that night that I listened to that track, and going forward. And so I knew I had to see him. And
Yeah.
so yeah, as soon as tickets went on sale, I bought myself a seat. I went alone, and I just experienced everything that a Dave concert is. The just nice people, the spirit of the music, God, the musicianship of the instruments and how they're being played and stuff. And, just everybody. It was woo, it was
Yeah,
awe. And I just
it
knew
was a lot.
that was, yeah. And that was it. I'm going forward from this. I'm gonna keep on listening to them, gonna go to more shows, gonna dive deeper and get into them deep tracks. And I did.
Yes.
And it's been a whirlwind since there. I guess my claim to fame is I've been to a lot of like great shows, but like interesting shows or kind of unique shows. Because my second show was the show where Leroy passed away.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was at
Yes.
Staples Center, August 19th, 2008. And I kept on looking after I heard the news. I'm like, are they going to play a show? Are they going to play a show? I didn't get any information. So then, okay, I'm going to go drive down to Staples Center. I have my ticket. And if I turn away, whatever. They played the show
Yeah.
and they played that show on Sirius before, if you've listened to it. And it is so, my God, the emotions of that night and what Dave said, the way the band played, the way the fans all like kind of grieved. It was a special moment, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. But that's one
Mhm.
concert I will never forget. I never forget them coming out in the white sheet, coming up as soon as they did their opening bartender, and that was just whew, chills, chills.
I've heard a couple of people talk about that show, and so it is intriguing to me to be at a show where there's so much more going on than the music. I mean, there always is, but like for everyone to feel that same feeling of loss and the sense of grief because Leroy was so much of the band, right? And when you found them back in 2006, that's all you knew. So fast forward to 2008 and things got switched up on you as a newish type fan. I love Jeff. I think that he is the right person for the job and always was. And we have to count that loss because there's nothing we can do to change that. But I love the way that Jeff has not filled in his shoes. That is not the right word. No one would ever be able to do that because his sound and just his demeanor, the way he loved the people in the band, it was just his own unique style. But Jeff has done a great part of playing the saxophone with this band, and it's been beautiful. But what an odd time to come in to where there is so much change because you didn't know that was going to happen, and things started changing kind of rapidly after you get into it. So take us back to that night. Like, what were you thinking? Leroy, he passes away that day. There is a show. What's going through your brain? Because I know that Jeff is there, and I only know that because of stories been told, right? Jeff had
Hmm.
already been kind of brought in as a substitute, if you will, because they didn't know the future.
Right.
And so there was already that relationship established between the fans and the band. Can you remember that night and thinking about just the loss? And every time you heard the saxophone, it was nothing against Jeff, right? Like we love the fact that he's there,
Absolutely.
but every time you heard it, it was such a reminder of what you would never hear again. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, I went into the show wondering if this band that I've come to love so much and into, will I ever see him again? Like, are they breaking up? Is this
Yeah,
it? Because I know Leroy was I mean, he's a founding member.
right.
So, yeah, we went into and just talking with fans and stuff, and I went to this show alone as well, and just talking with fans, and that's what we were all kind of speculating. Like, is this it? They're going to keep going on? Will he be replaced? How are they going to do it? And then, yeah, Jeff did an amazing job, and you're right, Jeff. No one can replace Leroy for sure. He created most of the sounds. But God, Jeff has done such a great job and evolution to it all. You can't knock him down. I
Mhm.
mean, it's funny
Yep.
because I just posted the other day because Jeff was actually in my home state after the Gorge tour,
No way.
and I'm like, hey, thanks for visiting my state because I follow him on Facebook and all that. And I said,
Yeah.
man, you and that penny flute gave me chills, that night, and also the night that they did bartender and he did the penny flute, and it just, man, his skills with the penny flute, forget about it. It
I
kind of,
know.
to me, that's an homage to Leroy because Leroy also played that
Mhm.
penny flute like nobody's business. So every time he does, I think that like Leroy's there with him playing together,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
that's what it feels like to me. And that show was again magical. The things that Dave spoke of, the way the band played, just it was just a special show on a somber moment, but it was definitely special. And just yeah, the whole show was wonderful. Dave did a little piano work at the end. And like I said, his words about Leroy were just comforting for everybody, because we all felt the same grief. I mean, not as much as the guys did in the band, but we definitely felt it as fans. And it was a great, like, how can I put this? Like a love of Leroy that night. And that's what we celebrated. We
Mhm.
celebrated him with the music.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being in the band's shoes. So, I mean, obviously this concert's been planned for a while. It's been posted, tickets are sold. They didn't know that that was going to happen that day or even at all. I don't know the situation back, then. How do you write a set list after something like that? Like you've decided you're going to continue on writing the set list and even performing and speaking those words, just the level of difficulty that must have been for them as his family and for sharing that with us. What a great thing, cuz just you'll always have that. I know so many other people that were there will always have that. And it was almost like a bit of closure. Like not that you were closing that part of your life, but by the time he had passed away, there was some time in between when he got hurt and when he passed away. And so there
Right.
was a lot of question of like, what's happening? Is he gonna come? All the things. And so that night, even though that was unfortunately the day of his death, it was a closure of that moment of, okay, part is over. And what are we doing next? So a lot of closure, but then also a lot of confusion and not knowing what to expect in the next weeks, months, and years.
Absolutely.
Did you think that they would continue after all of that?
After that night, yeah. After that
You
night of
did.
playing, and yeah, and what Jeff did up there, like me and a couple fans were talking, and they're like, that's gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the one to kind of fill Leroy's shoes, even though I mean technically nobody can. But
Right.
he's gonna do his version of it with the band, and it's gonna be phenomenal. So yeah, after that night of him playing, we knew. And all I can say is it's I got the same feelings watching Jeff play up there with those guys on that concert as I did for seeing the fiddle player that came up on the Gorge Jake. And
Yeah, and yes,
oh my
this year.
god. Yes, and got the same feels and chills. It was cool. It was cool. Like I kinda that concert like replayed in my head when he was out there the first time with the fiddle, and he's just hitting it. And I'm like, that's exactly what Jeff did. So yeah,
Yes.
no, it I knew they were gonna go on. We all kind of felt like, yeah, okay, they got it. They're gonna keep on
Yeah,
doing it because that's what Leroy would have wanted. He loved the fans, he loved
of
the
course.
music. Yeah, he's gonna want that to go on. I know because it's all about love and stuff, and that's what this band provides to all the
Right.
fans. So yeah, that's what's
And they
gonna
had worked
happen.
so hard to get to that point. I mean, 2006, 2008, that's a long time from when they started, if we think about time. And even before Dave Matthews Band started in 1991, there were bands before that Leroy, Tim, all tinkered around with, trying to feel out what it was they were going to do. So they had a relationship that extended way past what they had already done with Dave Matthews Band. So in such a somber concert like that, even though it was a celebration of life and a celebration of what is to come, what came next? Like, what are you thinking after you leave that show?
After that show, I went onto the forums right away and started talking with fans and telling them like, yeah, they played it and it was wonderful. And to the people that couldn't, because the fan community is so big. So and this is at the time when it really wasn't being like produced like where anybody else could listen to it, whether you were at the show or not. Or I remember just going on the forums and talking with fans and just saying like it was really good. Like if he comes out for another show where you are, you're gonna be so surprised. It's they still sound great. They're ready to keep on going. Like you just got this feel. And so yeah, that's what it was. And
Mhm.
I must have been up till like God 4 in the morning talking to people online
I bet. I
about what
bet.
I
There's
just
so much to talk about.
experienced. There is.
Yes.
And one of my friends, and I made a lot of friends because of Dave Matthews. And one of my friends, her name's Lauren. Hi, Lauren, if you're watching, I'm sure she is.
What's up,
She's out.
Lauren?
Yeah,
Hey.
she's out in Florida, and she would. we conversated a lot, and she knew way more about them before I did, and she would give me hints, and she would send me like deep tracks, like CDs, and we would message each other like little playlists, and we'd send back and
Hell
forth.
yeah, some homework.
Yeah, it was cool. So she was a big inspiration for me getting into them deep tracks and kind of learning about the songs. And I remember one time for I think it was for Christmas, she hand drew me a fire dancer, a painting, and it
Wow.
was awesome. It was awesome. She's a really good friend and just a loyal fan for sure.
Yeah,
So now that
yeah.
that's over, now I've changed my life around after my divorce and everything, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go live that New York City lifestyle from being a California boy. So I literally gave up everything I have and I moved to New York, New Jersey area, and yeah, lived that life. Kind of met somebody online, and then things were just working out great. And my third show was taking a train to Madison Square Garden to go see him.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, I can't even tell you, like I remember it was during the winter, it was cold. You got the guy selling peanuts out, the hot roasted peanuts outside. It's Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's
Yes.
like I mean, it's a mecca. So
Right,
yeah.
right. And one that I've not been to, it's on the list. It's on the list. It always is on the list. That is, I think it's on the list for everybody. But right now, and I don't know, it sounds like it was the same time frame. They only like to go to New York City in the winter-ish, late fall, early winter. And that is a tough time to travel for a lot of people. So I'm so glad that you got that experience. And it was just a train ride away. Was that the first time you had ever been inside of that building?
Yes, yeah, that I've walked past it a
Yeah.
couple times since I lived there. I moved there like in May of 2010. So yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of the first time I would, take the little subway or whatever into New York from Jersey,
Yeah.
and walk around and experience New York because that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I passed
Wow.
by it a ton of times,
Yeah.
and as soon as I found out they were playing there, it was November of 2010. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go see them. We did the whole train
Yes.
ride in, and it was cool. We're all bundled up because it was cold.
Right.
It was cool to see him there. It definitely was cool. It's Madison Square Garden. There's not much more I can say about that.
Right. Right.
So
I'm sure the show was amazing. How and like you said, how could it not be?
And it was, I think I don't remember much from that show because I think I was just so hyped to see them there that, like, in my
Yes.
mind, that's all I could think about is, like, I'm seeing my favorite band at Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's,
Yes.
for a lot of people, that's bucket list as far as I'm concerned.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
It is. I think
and
it is.
yeah, so then 2011, they decided to do their Caravan tour. And
That's right.
I remember talking to my friend Lauren, and I'm like, Lauren, you got to come out. Let's go. 3 days of Dave out here in New Jersey, and so she did. That's actually the first time I met her. So us three, it was my girlfriend slash future wife at the time, and her, and we all carpool up there every day, and just, oh my god, those 3 days were just so much. That was the first time I ever got on a rail, and it was because it was general admission. It took you forever to get up there, so it like literally took me 8 hours to like finally make it up there. And
Wow.
I got some
Commitment.
yeah, I got some amazing like photos because I wanted to at least do that once.
Of
Nowadays,
course.
like, I'm a seat guy. Give me a seat.
I am almost there too. I'm like, I need a chair every couple of minutes.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What is going on, Space Between podcast listeners? This is David, the drummer with the Dave Matthews Tribute Band, here to tell you about 2 new tours we have coming up to close out 2025. First, the DMTB will embark on its Tomorrow We Die Fall Tour, starting October 2nd in Woodbury, Connecticut, and completing December 6th in Plattsburgh, New York. This tour features a run of shows down to Florida and back, with stops in Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, all the way down to Key West and back, with stops in Illinois, Michigan, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New England in general, you name it. We're probably going to be in a city near you if you live on the East Coast. So make sure you check out the dmtb.com/tour and see if we're going to be near you. Second, we're absolutely stoked about our Gamblers and Robbers 2025 New Year's Eve tour. This tour is going to have 5 shows between December 26th and December 30th in the Northeast region, a highlight of which will be a stop in Buffalo, New York at one of our all-time favorite venues, Town Ballroom. as well as other killer shows around the Northeast to ring in the new year and celebrate the holidays Dave style. So make sure to check out thedmtb.com/tour for events and ticket info, and follow us on the various socials like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on by searching the DMTB. Hope to see you on the road, and back to the podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I got to experience it, and that's what I say. You know, those pit people are awesome, and they know how to party down
Of
there.
course.
But
They
yeah,
do, but they know how to
I'm a street
party in the
guy.
back too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Believe that. Believe that. So
Yes.
yeah, that show was amazing. Oh my gosh, seeing all the opening acts, Amos Lee, and then who else did I get to see there? David Gray, just
Oh,
just
yeah.
phenomenal opening acts. And then of course, Dave and playing the show and did like Sweet Emotion. It was the first time I got to hear that
Mm,
live, which Stefan nailed it on that bass that night. And the Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself was like the very last song of all three nights,
yes.
and that was rocking. Yeah, no, that was a trip, and it tires you out. You don't realize, but 3 days it tires you
God, 3
out.
days. 3 days is a lot, even though we like to claim that we could do 5 nights. We could do whatever they could put together, but seriously, 3 nights is really hard. It's a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was so worn out from that. So I've seen them a couple other times. They would come to like Homedale, New Jersey, and then I think I saw them up more north. And then by that time, it was what 2000 and like moved to Pennsylvania
Uh-huh.
at the time, and I
Wow.
got married, bought a house, and everything, and just met a coworker at the place I used to work. His name's Steve. He's a good buddy of mine. In fact, we just went to the Gorge together, and we went to Camden. Had the time of my life. I got to hang out with his tailgate buddies because I was kind of new to
That's
the
fun.
area. And a Camden show is something you got to do. It gets
For sure,
the
at least once.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of one of those things you got to do it because it's unique. I'll never forget. That was the first time I went to Canada a couple times, but I remember one of the workers there. He's like, "Oh, you're a really big fan." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And he's like, "Here," and he gave me his like thing he had to wear that said like he was part of the crew there, a vendor or whatever.
What?
But yeah, he gave me his little. It was the last night of their 2 shows, and he gave me his little lanyard that said like DMV crew member or something.
What?
And I'm
So what
like,
did you get
"Yeah."
to do? Like, did you try to walk around and, like, go to places you weren't supposed to?
No, no, not at all. I was up in the lawn. This guy was up in the lawn, and I don't know if he was selling
Real or
something,
not?
yeah, I didn't know, but he literally took it off his neck, and he's like, "Here you go. I know you're a big fan. Like, here you go, man." And I'm like, "Cool." And
Weird,
it
that
just
was
said,
very
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I don't know if he was pressed or whatever. I've since unfortunately lost that piece of memorabilia. I have a
Sure,
picture of it
it's hard to
somewhere
keep up with it.
though. But yeah, yeah. So fast forward to 2016, me and my new wife, things are going good, but we found out like I couldn't have children, and that was devastating to her. And we tried other things, but nothing seemed to work. So, anyways, that kind of killed the marriage. So at this point, I'm like, I love it out here, but
Mhm,
I
it's
need to be
hard.
home with family. And so I decided to road trip it back
Yeah,
to Arizona because everybody moved from California to Arizona. So that's how I ended up in this state. But
gotcha.
I still kept in contact with everybody. And again, Dave's music, like through that hard time, it was there for me. It helped me. It helped me grieve. It helped me find closure. It helped me move on. And like I said, that's what it always does. It's such a therapy, like healing kind of thing.
It really is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can ask anybody that what it does for them and the music just oof, you know.
It can change everything.
Absolutely. It's weird their music can make you cry. It can make you happy. I mean, I know a lot of
Yes,
music can,
yes.
but when you care that much about their music, it's even more more.
It's like a family member. It is like a relationship that you are in, and it's you're not, you're not getting out, right? Like we're it's a marriage to this band almost, right? Like we're in it. We're here till the end. And we support whatever you decide. It is it's a lot, but it's a beautiful thing. And because it's a lot, it does mean a lot to us emotionally. And with that comes, magic, because at that point your brain is thinking of it very differently, and it's an emotional aspect in your life, and so it does have the ability to really increase those highs, help with the lows. I mean, there's so much chemistry in the brain that's actually happening when we listen to music in general, but when we connect with particular music, that of course for us being Dave Matthews Band, it's amazing what they can do for us emotionally and sometimes even physically, because some physical healing can come out of just your mood increase, right? The believing that you're going to get through something and then actually doing it. So this music has been so powerful for so many people. So you're exactly right.
Yeah, no, you said it. So at this time, my next show, I think this is going on my 10th show. I'm living in Arizona. They're playing at Irvine Meadows again. The first place I saw them. So I'm like, okay, California's not that far. My buddy Steve in Pennsylvania, who I went to the Can Room shows with, he's like, I want to come out and visit. Well, come out when Dave's playing. Let's go to your let's go to a California Dave show for you, so you can see what it's like over there. And so
Yes.
we all hopped in a car, and we picked up one of my friends, Tiffany, as well. And so all three of us went down and partied there at Irvine Meadows. And that was one of the last times, because they finally demolished that amphitheater and built like condos or something. So that
Oh,
was kind
wow.
of heartbreaking. I mean, I saw a lot of amazing shows there. Being a SoCal, kid, Stone Temple Pilots, Oingo Boingo was huge during Halloween there. I got to see them. So it's a kind of a sacred place for being a Southern
Cool.
Californian. And again, they killed it. I had a good time. And then let's see. What would be next? So then it's 2018. Let's see.
So
2018,
let's
my
put the
buddy.
pause.
Okay.
Let's let's put a pause between 2016 and 2018, because
Okay.
there's some interesting things happening in the band, right? As far as inside of
Mm-hmm.
the band, and then what we are about to experience again, because you're about to experience the same thing that 2006, 2008, in that time frame that you kind of went through, as far as losing Leroy, getting Jeff. Now, at this time, we're in another pivotal move as far as Dave Matthews Band musicians. At this time, of course, it was 2017, 2018? I can't remember exactly when officially it happened, but Boyd, who of course was there from the
Right.
beginning, left the band. And we won't talk about all the reasons why. If you're interested and you're listening to this or watching this, you can Google the hell out of it, and it's going to tell you a lot of information. I can't verify whether any of that is true or false. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We were past that. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, everyone that I have spoke to had such a relationship with that sound coming from the band, right? Like it's such a cool marriage of jazz and rock, and then there's this dude on the fiddle, violin, whatever you want to call it. And so losing that interesting sound that really had never come together in other bands and made it this big. What were you thinking in that time frame where you end up you're losing someone else from this band?
But I
Right.
like the progression of sound. I feel that they went from more that jazzy, folksy music style to more of a rock. Because then you had
Mm-hmm.
Tim on the guitar playing with them. You had Rashawn on the horns, and yeah, there was like a more rock sound, and I kind of like that, being an alternative guy and listening to
Oh,
Nirvana
sure.
and all those bands. Like, yeah, I can go for this more rock style. So I actually like how what happened. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
missed the
no,
fiddle,
yeah,
but I like the way they progressed, and they keep on moving on, and that's what I love about them, is like
they
they
do.
don't let these tragic things stop them. They pick themselves up, figure it out, and do it, and then they keep on doing it better.
Yeah, they keep evolving and one-upping themselves, because of course in that time frame also, in the 2010s, whatever we want to call that decade. We also get more of Tim. He becomes more of a fixture in the band rather than a
Yep.
guest. And I can't remember exactly when that happened, but then we've got Rashawn, who's also guesting and not officially part of the band. But, looking back, we can see what was happening. But at that time, it was confusing. And even as a fan myself, I remember hearing, oh, well, if Tim Reynolds is at your show, it's a big deal. And so I was like, well, what's the deal? Like, is he part of it? Is he not part of it? Just very confusing for someone that wasn't dialed in at the time. So you're living through all of these parts, through all of the changes that this band has undergone. And you're still so excited about that. And I think that's beautiful that and I think most people are very excited about the way the music has landed and evolved and changed and done all of the things with the different people that have been in and out. And it sounds like you feel the same way, just like every little change that they've made, because those changes did make them sound different, not drastically, not like where you wouldn't be able to know who it was, but there were subtle changes because Boyd definitely brought something different. Tim brought in this whole fucking rock star element that I still can't get over, just this dude up there like slamming the guitar like it's an extension of his hands. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And then Rashawn, of course, being the rock star that he is, but more in the brass section, more for me, more of the jazzy section of the band. That's kind of, where he came in and still where he is. And so just beautiful changes. And of course, that's what it's all brought them to the way they sound now. And of course, we know the future in 2018, who came on. Buddy, our great friend Buddy, rolled into the mix and changed up a lot of things, but also paid tribute to the past. And I think that that's so awesome that, from time to time, he'll put up the fiddle sound. They're still paying respect to that time frame and understanding that that was important to so many listeners and fans, but also just moving right along. 2018 brought us Buddy, brought us a different sound, brought us a new album. And it had been a little bit, between Away from the World and Come Tomorrow. There was some time in between that and some band changes. So 2018, Come Tomorrow comes out. Buddy is on stage. What are you thinking? Are you down for all the changes?
Yeah, no, totally. I love Buddy. Hell, he's from Arizona. He's a hometown boy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He is from Arizona.
Yeah, he's from Phoenix. And yeah, he's my hometown guy. Now that I consider this
Yes.
my home state. No, Buddy's his vocals, his playing. Yeah, how can I put it? Like you buy a car and it's a really nice car, but you decide to upgrade it with a turbo, make it a little more
Yeah.
peppier. And that's exactly what he did. He's like the turbo of this band, and he's just pushing it, man. He
I love
is.
it. I
And
love
so
that
that
he
2000.
has also oh, no, I was just gonna say, I love how he also his appearance in the band also not, yes, he brought in the little sounds of the fiddle, but he also brought back the sound of the keys, which was a big part of who Dave Matthews Band was for so many years. They had two different keys players, and then Buddy is the third to come in. So it was refreshing to hear all of that part come back too. And then, of course, like you said, he comes in with the vocals, which are just hand in hand tied for like which one is better. Can he sing better or can he play better? He can do both equally in my eyes. And so he brought two skills to the table. And I think both of those skills have really elevated the fan experience for so many people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The show that I saw, yeah, I believe Buddy was there. It was their last show of the season at the Hollywood Bowl in 2018. So again, another place like it's the Hollywood Bowl. My buddy
You
Steve
know what?
came
I was
down.
there.
You were at that show?
I was there at that show.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah, I got the
oh,
poster right
awesome.
behind me. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
Right
the
back
long
there. It's the
poster.
Hollywood Bowl in
Yeah,
2018. That's right. Yep.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, cool. So you already
Yeah.
know that show was amazing.
It
A
was
funny story before the
the
show.
orchestra, the symphony. What the hell?
Exactly. Well, a funny story is that we were outside taking pictures of in front of the sold out Dave Matthews at the Hollywood Bowl sign because you got to kind of do that.
Yes.
And there was
Yes.
this female, and she asked my buddy, "Hey, will you mind taking a picture of me in front of it?" So yeah, we take a picture. And I'm like, "You excited to see the show and all that?" And she's like, I'm actually can't tell you much, but I'm playing in the show. And we're like, huh?
Wait, what?
Yeah. And she was part of that orchestra. She was a celloist.
No
And
way.
yeah, she's like, I can't tell you anything, but I'm a special guest.
Oh,
And we're
wow.
like, sure, like, what's going on here?
How
You know?
incredibly cool. Oh, my yeah, because you knew something was up, but you didn't know exactly what.
Exactly. So we're like telling everybody that we're waiting in line for our posters and stuff. You know, like we met this girl and she's part of a special thing with the band. And she says she plays cello and like we're all set. And then of course, as you know, that night with the strings was just
It was magical. I'll never forget just that whole moment because before that he played the song, of course, they had to get the orchestra, the symphony, whatever it is. I don't even know the difference, honestly, but whatever. They were on a round stage that kind of turned in on top of the current stage that Dave Matthews Band was already on. And it seemed like as they were trying to get ready to roll on stage, it almost seemed as if, and this is what I remember at the time, that he was stalling because he just kind of kept talking and it seemed like he didn't know. Although I would say most of the time he doesn't always seem like he knows exactly what he's going to say when he gets to the
right.
microphone. He just kind of says something. But to me, there just seemed to be some kind of hesitation. And I was like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then you see them roll out. And what happened next really for me was life changing. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, it brought goosebumps. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it brought goosebumps. So yeah, I mean that what a way to end 2018. So now I'm still on these forums in these groups and I found out there's a DMB AZ group on Facebook. So like I message them and yeah, you can come join us and these guys are so awesome. It's like a separate family and like the DMB Arizona peeps are like they're hardcore. They're as hardcore as those Charlottesville people, I feel, or the Gorge
Good.
people. They
Good.
really are. Like we do. Megan, hi Megan. I'm sure she's gonna hear this too. Huge
Hey,
fan, and
Megan.
she's like the leader of the little group that we're in, and we go camping together. They'll have like the couch tour at somebody's house and have a pool party. We always pregame it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the camping experience with these guys has been so much fun. It's just Dave and camping, just being
Wow.
around people that get it and love it. And it's
Mhm.
just it's awesome. Like I'm so happy to be a part of this group.
Dude,
And
that sounds amazing.
it really is. It's such a cool group, and like you never feel like you're alone anymore because of everybody in
Right.
this group. So yeah, I mean, I'll never forget. We saw Buddy here. It was my first time seeing him in Phoenix. It was 2019, and he did Every Day. And I remember he just saying like something like the slower part when it gets to the honey honey and he's like I'm so happy to be in my hometown right now and the crowd just
Oh,
went crazy like you wouldn't
oh, I
believe.
bet.
Yeah, and I mean that was to be part of that where Buddy's like first homecoming to his hometown and stuff. I didn't
Oh,
even know it
yeah.
at the time till the concert, and that's when I was like, oh wow.
I
So
don't think
then
many
we
people knew who Buddy Strong was before Dave Matthews Band, but he has had such an elaborate and very professional career before Dave Matthews Band, the people that he's worked for and worked with, very impressive. He is some of music's finest performers. Just so thankful that he is in this band. And I heard on SiriusXM today he had recorded a story about coming in to meet Dave for the very first time when he was kind of auditioning, if that's what you want to call it, or, whatever. And just that the whole tryout was basically him playing one song, which they played Steady As We Go on the keys. And then Dave just kind of looked at him and said, okay, well, you want to go get something to eat? Like it was so chill. And he said that about Dave. Like the whole process was just them checking me out to see what vibe I had, like as far as would I be able to fit in to their vibe, because Dave Matthews Band is known for having a certain type of vibe, very like relaxed, but also energetic at times, but just being very calm and loving and all of those things. So I think it's interesting that he had done all of that work before Dave Matthews Band, and they were like, obviously, that's clear. He's a brilliant musician, but do you have the right vibe? And he did. And I see that so much now, how much energy he brings to the stage that maybe was there before with the violin, because Boyd did have so much energy at certain times, but Buddy brings it every single time. I mean, he looks like it is Christmas Day and he is in his most favorite place every time. He just brings that quality for us fans that is contagious in a way. Like I feed off that energy that he evokes from all of them, really. But he just is so visually stimulating, if you will. That's probably creepy sounding, but whatever. Like he is like visually, he's amazing to watch, right? Even if you couldn't hear him, I'm like, dude, this dude is dancing and swaying and like all over the place, and I just enjoy watching him.
Yeah, no, you can't look away when he's doing his thing. He's awesome, and then when he's singing, he's got soul, man. Buddy's got some soul.
He does. He brought
And I
church
love
to
it.
Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, there you go. That's the perfect way to say that. Absolutely, Diddy. Yeah. So then, so COVID hits. And I'm sure everybody has their COVID story. We were all wondering, like, are we going to see Dave again? Like, for the year, because
Yeah.
everything was getting shut down.
Right.
I got to go to it was the Innings Festival in Tempe, Arizona, which is that poster that I was talking to you about up there with the baseball player.
Yes.
And that was like the last show. So I was happy that I got to see him in that year because they weren't going to play a summer tour or a fall tour. Later we found out. So it was cool to see him. And they didn't play a very big set because there was just so many bands that day. But again, it was just
Sure.
cool to get to go to something because it was so local for me.
Yes.
So then I'm like, I want to start seeing Dave in other places. And so I would actually book my vacations around Dave shows.
Hell
So
yeah.
my next show in 2021, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go tour New Mexico because they're playing in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they don't
Oh,
play there very
wow.
much. Yeah,
Oh.
and no, so I did a road trip up there, did all the New Mexico things, Carlsbad Cavern, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, had a blast. And yeah, we saw him at the Izetta Center, I think, or it's something up there, small little hilly thing. And I think God, it was a pretty small crowd. It wasn't very big, but awesome. Blew me away again. And it was cool to see him in another state. And
Yeah, New
I kept
Mexico
on
has
doing
a
that.
big fan,
What's that?
New Mexico has a large fan base, and they have a large presence on social media as well, just
Do
for the
they?
fans from New Mexico. They do.
I know. It's a beautiful state. It's a very
Yeah.
underrated state. It really is. It's super pretty there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, then I got one of those unique shows out here. There was Super Bowl was happening out here in Phoenix, and they played that Super Bowl festival,
Yes.
which was really cool to go see again. So here I go, and the set was small. It wasn't that crazy because they had a lot of other acts. But again, here I am getting a special little Dave show that in a small little venue, pretty small
Yeah.
for them anyways. When these guys play huge arenas, so yeah, I
Right.
got to be part of that, and that was a lot of fun. So the next trip is okay. They're gonna play in Colorado, at Fiddler's Green in 2024. So let's road trip to Colorado. So there we
Why
go.
not?
And again, another beautiful state. Drove up through Durango, the $1 Million
Yes.
Highway. Saw, everything Silverton Array. Just, oh my God, just wow. Colorado is scenery.
It's amazing.
Scenery.
Yes.
And those shows, both of those shows were awesome. Had a great experience. And gosh, I think that's like the very first time that I finally locked in like this band is the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
I always quote their lyrics, but the one of them is shine your light while you got one. And
Mhm.
I believe that's just being happy, positive, friendly, helping out others, and that's my light, and that's how I'm going to shine it.
Yes.
So Right is like one of my favorite songs. Stay up and make some memories with friends. I mean, that's what it's all
Yes.
about. Like these
That's
concerts are
right.
so good. I always say like it's sad to say, but if I wasn't to wake up tomorrow, I lived a happy life because I was at this Dave show. And it was like I
Yeah.
didn't want it to end. And I stood up and made some memories with thousands of friends, is the way I look at it. Uh, and
Yes.
then those moments where you meet people or like Dave plays a song you've been chasing. That's my so damn lucky moments. That's another song I go to because I remember him mentioning it once saying like, you're going to be in a car accident. And it's that moment, you're going to be in it and you can't do anything about it. And it's like that, oh shit moment. And like when
Mhm.
that song comes on that you've been chasing, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's my oh shit moment," and it's happening. So it's my
Yes.
so damn lucky moment. And then so this year I said, okay, next road trip, well, we're going to fly. I'm going to do the gorge. I have to do
So
the
you had never
gorge.
been before,
Nope. First timer.
and this was it. You were like, 2025 is the year I'm going. Was there
Yeah.
any reason, like, I know a lot of people wanted to go this year because Goose was going to be performing, and so there's a lot of Goose fans. Was that something that factored into it, or was it just the year you
No.
wanted to go and you were able to go?
It's funny. I had this steady girlfriend out here, and we literally just broke up right before they announced that. It was like January of this year. Like some stuff went down,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I had to get out of that relationship or whatever. Be fine, do your own thing, and I'm gonna do my own thing. And
yeah.
I said I was so hurt by it all because of what was said, and I'm not gonna go into all that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm doing the gorge. I'm doing this. I'm doing me. I'm taking care of me. I'm tired of like
Yeah,
always being the one giving, 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 giving. I'm gonna do something for me. I'll never forget. I ordered 2 tickets because I wasn't sure if we were to get back together, or if I was gonna bring somebody else, or what. I didn't care. I was going to the gorge.
right.
Ordered 2 tickets. I booked my air flight, my hotel because I got it all approved through work because I work crazy
Awesome.
crazy shifts, and it's hard to get time off, especially during a holiday. And I called up my buddy Steve back in PA that I go to the Canyon shows with, and I'm like, Steve,
Yeah.
all you have to do, brother, is buy your plane ticket, and we're going to the gorge. And he's like, what? I'm like,
And was his
yeah.
answer right away, yes?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He's like, "Are you for real?" I'm like, well, "Dude, we've talked about this. We've been on the phone and like, hey, maybe this year we'll go to the gorge." Never happens. And we've been talking about it for 10 years. And so
Right.
this is the year of me. This is the year it's gonna happen. And oh my God, as you know, what a freaking show. I mean,
Take us through it. So you arrive at the gorge. Because I remember my first time, I've only been once. My first time getting out there, just getting to the gorge was like, am I being kidnapped? Because it doesn't seem like there should be anything out here. And there was, but it's in the middle of nowhere. You don't have any backup plans as far as like there's no stores, there's not a local
there's
Walmart,
nothing out there.
there's none of that. So there was a lot of preparations that had to be made. And so how did you know what to get and what to bring and how to do it? Like, how did you do it?
That again, that the fan community, especially Megan, my DMB Arizona, she's like, when I posted on our little Facebook group, I'm going to the gorge. It's like, I'm so happy for you. She's like, dude, if you need to know anything, text me. I will get you there. I joined a couple other Facebook groups, pilgrimage to the gorge, and the fan community is wonderful for knowledge and all that. So I literally went in knowing, like, kind of planning out what to expect and everything, and ended up staying in Wanichi, I think it's called, or Wenichi.
One Hawaiian, I don't know.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
a
the city?
little it's a pretty big city out there, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 50 minutes from the gorge, but a lot of people recommended that
Gotcha.
you would stay there because I'm like, how am I going to go camping with, like, I can't bring a tent, I'm taking a plane, and I'm not going to
Right.
take I have an RV, I'm not going to take my RV up there because I
No.
don't have the time to get that much time off work to do that.
Right.
So everybody said they recommended, if you're not going to camp, then stay in this little town. There's a couple other towns too, but this one seemed like it had the most to do, like, during the day. Because
Hmm.
if I'm there, I still want to explore and enjoy my vacation
Of
and do
course.
other things before the
Oh,
show.
yes.
So night zero, I call it, was we just got into town. It was Thursday night, and I found on this Facebook group, somebody posted meet up at this pub. And I'm like, okay, I've met so many new friends. So I have new Facebook friends now. I got so much cool swag. Like, it was like our little Wanichi clan group, and we all got together and had some beers and ate some good food and just talked about all our Dave stories and stuff.
Hmm.
And just that night alone was like special because, again, the fans just coming together, doing their thing, and just making you feel special. And people are giving us tips. Okay, do this, park here, and like, it was great. Like, everybody's looking out for each other. So yeah, hi to
Yes.
all those people that are going to be listening. I'm sure they listen to the podcast. They're true fans, and they love anything Dave. So hi to all those new friends that I've made
Hey,
out there.
guys. Hey, new gorge friends. Thanks for making Daniel's experience better.
So night one, going to the gorge. I'm in awe, like everybody is. Like, it's true. Like, the pictures are beautiful, but they don't do it justice when you see it with your own eyes.
So true.
And yeah, and we had to do. I've had some issues with my leg lately, so we did ADA seating,
Hmm.
which the gorge crew was really good with it. And we got the seats were really good. It like turned out to be really nice.
Oh, good.
And I mean, come on, I did it. It hasn't been played in like since 2016 or something. To be part of that, so you already
Yeah.
knew, okay. And then you're wondering, like, they always do something special at the gorge. Is this it? Is this the
Right.
one special
Right.
we're gonna get? Because you never know. And like, okay, that's cool. Because that song gets a lot of hatred from people. I feel I like it. I think it's
And I
cool.
love it. I
It
love
is.
it.
I love the music video too.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a cool video. It shines them in a whole new light, and the sound is so different. And
It
that's
really
kind of
does.
more that rock Dave that I was telling you about.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, when they play that, I'm like, I'm going crazy. Of course, I got so right, and like so right, I'm like crying like a baby. I'm passionate. I'm an emotional guy, and
Yeah.
I'm just crying there because this is heaven. This is it. I feel liberated from everything I went through this year. Like I feel liberated in the moment, and I still do because of that. And then we're at night two, and night two, you're like, okay, what's gonna go on here? Well, speaking of night one, they bring Jake on,
That's right.
and it's weird because when he started playing, I remember now like how it felt to hear Boyd play live.
Yep. Yep.
That kind of resonated with me. Like, God, I really do miss this sound. Like, I enjoy the rock
Yeah.
stuff, but oh my God, like the crowd just going crazy when he's playing,
Yes.
and he's just hitting every note, and he's just jamming with the band like clockwork. Like, I don't think there was a
Right.
misstep. So we're like, okay, like I mean, so you get that, I did it. Like, well, what else is gonna happen here? A
What
night
could possibly
Right?
happen?
And then night 2, you're there for history. Like, they never played a whole album from start to finish, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this can't be happening now. This cannot be happening."
At what point are you standing there and you realize that that's what's going on? Because that wouldn't be like your first thought is like, oh my God.
You know,
Okay. Number one, number two are the.
I didn't get it till late. I didn't get it till hearing, Dreamy Tree.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, they got 3 more songs, like, are we gonna hear Pig? Like, are we gonna hear Pig? Because it's Pig, and Pig is such a beautiful song, so special." I'm looking, and they're playing it, and I'm like, "Shoot," and then, Jake's on the stage, just nailing them violin parts, like, it just singing to my heartstrings, and here I am, like, I'm looking for this guy, Zach, who dresses up in the pig costume that goes to the show because he was
That's
there.
right. I know Zach. Hey,
Yeah,
Zach.
yeah, and so I'm looking, like, for him, like, I see him out there doing his thing, I'm like, "This is it, this is, like, the mecca right here." Everybody's just getting into
Yes.
it, it's awesome, so, like, how could it possibly get any better on the 3rd night? Like, how? Like, how can that ever be topped?
How can they top that? Right.
Well, for me, it was, and because not only did I get to hear "So Damn Lucky," because that's one of my go-to songs.
That's right.
Goose was amazing.
Yeah.
All of the opening acts were amazing. They did have some phenomenal things. Goose, Bella Flat was unreal. His banjo playing, like I've heard of them, but I didn't really know their music all too well. I know Jeff like played with them and
Yeah.
stuff, but wow, they got a fan. They got a new fan because I was blown away by it. So we're at night 3, and they're just playing. We're like, are we gonna get a full album again or whatever? Everybody's just vibing off what just happened the night before, like sickly vibing.
Right.
And so we're jamming, and then they do every day, um, and I think it's every day, but they're doing the wise man say part at the end of the song.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
actually, it
Holy
does for
Ghost,
single day
rush
I'm
back.
lucky. Yeah,
Again.
and I'm singing
Oh, is it
that,
after that? Okay.
yeah, and I'm just in the moment singing wise, like everybody's just singing. It's a beautiful thing. This voice comes up and says, "I hear you singing," and I look over and it's Rab,
No
and yeah,
way.
and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I heard you singing," and he's like, "I like your T-shirt too. I have this T-shirt custom made. It says it was like the Dunkin' Donuts logo, and it says America runs on DMB. It has a fire dance around the cup.
No
It's really cute.
way.
Yeah."
He needs that, right? He needs that because, like, that's his thing is time to make making the donut. Whatever he says, time to make
Time
the
to make the
donuts, which is a
donuts,
throwback
yeah.
to which is a throwback to Dunkin' Donuts, of course. And so your shirt, he needs one.
I need to find out a way to get him one, but he was just so cool, so
Yeah.
humble. He took a photo with us. saying, "Hey, thanks for being here." Like God, just like to me, this guy has shaken Dave's hand, shaken all the members' hands. I'm like, look, I can never wash this hand again. Like he's shaking Dave's
Oh,
hand or giving him high five, and like he's very
yes.
humble, and he's all about the fans too. And I love that because you get to live a little like you're kind of in with the band because you get to meet him and he lets you take a picture
Right.
with them. So he makes you feel like you're part of the band in a weird way.
And you are. I mean, because you are.
Yeah, yeah, no,
And I think
absolutely.
yeah, he kind of verifies that, like, you are part of this. Like, it takes fans to keep a band on the road, right? So I think they're just very aware of and always showing how thankful and grateful they are for their fans. And I think he's an extension of that, is to be amongst the fans. His job is to be out there, not only checking on the sound and doing all the technical things that he does, but also the relationship building, which is an important part of any business, if you want to call it that. His intentions are genuine and he loves what he does, but it's also his job, right? So he does it very well, and he makes people think and feel exactly how they should be feeling about being there. Is, thank you for being here, because in turn that allows us to be here. So I just think there's a give and receive there, that they're just very aware of, and always reaching out to fans, reminding them of that.
Yeah, no, you are so right on that. And like my only question was like he said he heard me singing. I'm like, was it good? I'm like thinking to myself,
Yeah,
I should
I know.
ask because this is a vocal coach. I'm like, was it good? Do you need a backup singer if it's that good? Here I am like playing all these things in my mind, like
Right.
and I mean, just the experience, the fans. Like, if you're even contemplating about doing the gorge, just do it. Even if you do it once, like do it once. It is it is the mecca of Dave. I thought I've been to every cool spot to see Dave. No, this definitely tops it, for me anyway. And it is a phenomenal and beautiful venue. It is God's amphitheater, and just the
It
sound's
is.
so different there. The sound's so different. I don't know what else to say about that. Like I'm excited for next year. I don't know if I'm
Yes.
gonna gorge again. I kind of want to now. I kind of got that bug, but it's pretty
Right.
costly, and I'm like,
It is.
so I'll have to wait till like February or whatever when they release their tour dates.
Yeah, well, first we're hopeful that they're going to release more tour dates, right? I don't think they're done, especially since next year, 2026, is their 30th
Fifth.
year anniversary. So there's so much hope in that, because how could you skip that? So I don't think they will, but until dates are released, there's that weird space as a fan of like, well, like, are they gonna, when, like, how much is it gonna be shortened? Is it gonna be a mini version? Like,
Right.
there's so many questions, because we're so spoiled. We're so spoiled as fans of Dave Matthews Band, because they've just been on the road so much and we've had so much access to them. However, at some point, that access to them is going to be narrowed down. That's just time and age and all of those things, right? So while we're so hopeful that the future will look like the past, we don't know, right? But I think that you'll be safe to bet on 2026, just because it is the 35th anniversary. And so we have to celebrate, and celebrate we will, right?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, no, I don't want to think about the other thing. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna stay positive, and they're gonna give us this. And I'm hoping, and I'm sure a lot of people are, that they do sign Jake, because I don't know if
Wow, right?
if you listen to the show when the audience started saying sign him up, like all 27,000 of us were saying sign him up, sign. It was so unison.
I
It's
heard.
such a beautiful moment. Like it's like I heard y'all, and
I
so
heard. I was listening, of course, and that's just a perk of another perk of being a fan, is we have so much access to them, even if we're not there. So I heard all of that going on, and while at first I wasn't exactly for sure what everyone was saying, I found comfort in that, because I think Dave got on stage and said, I wasn't exactly for sure what y'all was saying at first, and then I got it. I can't remember what he said he thought y'all were saying at first, but it was
yeah,
something
something.
completely different, and then he was like, I get it.
Yeah, it was something like where she went or something like that, yeah. But that
I
was
don't know
funny,
what y'all are saying.
but the
But
unison
now
of
he's
it. What?
part of he's part of another band. He's part of the Lucas Nelson's band. I think that's where they met, is when they performed in Montana, or when Dave performed in Montana, met him. I think that's the story I heard, and then invited him to come out to the Gorge and play. So while we'd love to see him hired on, he is already in a contract with somebody else. He guest often.
But
yeah,
that
would be amazing.
It reignited that feel of the fiddle and how much it means to their music, and oh my God, it's sweet. It's so sweet.
Yes, it is. It is. Those moments. It's just so funny because people say, I feel the same way, of how can they top what they've already done? And then, it's nights like night 2 that you question everything, because you're thinking, I could have never guessed or never planned that in a million years in my brain. I know that there were others out there, just because I've talked to them, that literally saw this coming, which blows me away, because I think most of us did not see that coming.
No.
But there's so many other stories. Just, it gives, not that I didn't have hope for the future, because I always do when it comes to this band, but it just proves to me that, like, they're not done yet, and they can still surprise every single one of their fans and throw them into this frenzy where you're like, oh my, what did I just witness? Did this actually happen? This is the best show I've ever been to, and it's 2025. Just all of those things being said is a huge deal for people to say, that's the best show I've ever been to, and they're in their 34th year of performing. That's a compliment. Such a compliment.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you hit it right on the head. And, I mean, to speak on how much they've given us, like, honestly, your podcast, like, I love listening to it. I love that you give us a platform to speak on, because to me, it's important. Yeah, I want to share my Dave stories and tell them how amazing that concerts are to people. And they're like, oh, Dave Matthews? Like, yeah, Dave Matthews. And I get a lot of shit for it at work.
Yes.
And I don't care. But then I get to speak
I
to
don't care
somebody
either.
like you in the community. And it's like, we get it. We get what's happening here.
We get it.
We definitely are picking up what they're putting down,
Exactly. Well, thank you so much
So
for
thank you
listening, number one. And
giving us this. It's
thank you.
really
It
nice.
has been such a trip. It's been such a trip. I have personally enjoyed hearing every story, because, as you know, I don't hear the stories before you tell them.
Right.
I hear the story as you speak it. Every single story blows me away. I don't think that there's ever going to be a number, because I'm almost to 200 episodes. I don't think there's going to be a number of people that I have on the show that share their journey that I'm not going to be completely in awe about, because whether it's just the best music you've ever heard, or you've built relationships because of this band, or it got you through a divorce, whatever your scenario is, everyone has a very personal story when it comes to the fanhood behind this band. And that, to me, is just, it's a story that has to be documented, because there's just a whole story of how the fans have received this, versus where the story before was just focused on the band. That is a beautiful story. I love that story. We love all of that. But I love looking at the fan side of the story, because it is 1 + 1 = 2. And so without us, they don't have that. And without them, it's just a hand in hand thing. And so it's incredible to have this platform where people are feeling safe to share their journey, and knowing that whoever listens to it is going to feel all the feels and enjoy all the words, and not be bored, like you said, with your people at work who are like, dear God, if you bring up Dave Matthews anything, I'm going to lose my shit on you, because the last thing I knew about them was I was in college, and I'm like, oh dear God, this conversation is going downhill really quickly. But there's not a lot of people that appreciate this information. And so when you do find people that do, it just feels really good, right?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well, 2025 has been a good year for you. All the years have been good for you. I love your story, how you have had some significant concerts at places that don't exist anymore, that are historical. You've been all over the country to see them, and that's amazing. But it all started just with, hearing them on the radio, and then randomly going into a store and trying to find something that was going to bring you up or make you feel different or better, or whatever the story was. And it did it. And it lasted years and it's
Yeah.
still going on. Just that one day of you walking into a store and picking up the CD and going, I've got to feel something different. You didn't know at that moment that you were going to get decades of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That, I mean, you just blew my mind with what you just said right now. Like, yeah, you're right. Like I could have just been like, okay, you know what, but God, I've stuck with them since that very moment, and I can't let go, and I'm not gonna
No,
let
we
go.
won't.
And
Gonna
yeah,
have to pry my dead hands off of whatever because I'm in
absolutely.
it and I feel the same way. And I think most fans do feel that way, especially fans that are on this show, because if you're on this show, you're passionate. And for you to find a Dave Matthews Band related podcast, you've already gone down some rabbit holes, right? Like you're down the holes, you're exploring to see what's out there. And so I'm just so appreciative that everyone sees what I'm trying to do here, which is just document this time, because in 100 years, when we're all gone, this music is still going to be here. Like it's been documented well. Their music has been documented very well. But I want, like I said, for the fan story to be documented as well. So in 100 years, when they look back on this band, not only will there be the music, but they'll see all the lives that have been changed, and that this music was used as a tool for healing in so many different
Hmm.
ways, that it really is almost just it's history. It's history in the making, and I just want to make sure that this is documented for those people who are going to try to find out more about what we did in these years.
Yeah, I love that. That absolutely. We're so lucky that we're living in this time. But what we're doing for the
Yes.
future and the parents that bring the kids to the shows and stuff, like
Yes.
we're keeping it alive, and we're so blessed. We're so lucky to have this
Mhm.
band and this community, and like everybody, you and all the fans out there. I love you guys all. Keep on spreading joy, peace, love, and keep on rocking out to Dave, and don't burn the day.
Don't burn the day. That is the quote of every day. Just and it's something that can be used every day, just as as a reminder that we're not promised tomorrow, that we're not promised a minute from now. And so do what you can while you can. Shine your light while you've got one. Just like you said earlier, there's no bad time to insert those lines. And I do find myself talking in Dave lyrics all of the
Yeah.
time, even to the point where I know that person listening to me is not going to put two and two together. But that's okay, because it was the perfect line for that moment. And Dave has just written all of these lines that are perfect for just about any moment. So Daniel, I'm so excited that you agreed to be on the show. I know you've been looking forward to it and you've been planning. And so thank you so much for sharing
Thanks.
your beautiful journey with everyone else that's listening. And I know that as people are listening, they'll identify like some of those same memories. You'll tell them about some memories that they don't have, that things that happened in the band at those shows when you were there, and they're just going to love this. And that hopefully it will we tend to, as fans, hear things and then that sparks us to dig even deeper. So I think that's what these stories do for a lot of people is, well, shit, I didn't know about that. I need to investigate that concert or listen to that concert. Just like, how when you talked about the day that Leroy died, have you listened to that show? Have people listened to that? Can they feel the sense of, what is the right word for what, the feeling in that room? And so there's so much to go back and listen to or go back and watch. And every time there's a fan on the show, they're giving us all information that we may not have. And so it takes everyone. And I appreciate you doing that, because you've taught me some things. You've given me some homework. And I know that the listeners of this show will also take away a lot of these things that you've said.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for having me on. It's been a joy. It's been a joyride.
Yeah, Joyride. One of my favorites, and actually the name of my car, because it's the perfect thing
Oh,
to call
sure.
your car, right? So I call her Joy for short. But yes, thank you so much for being on the show, guys. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, just know that you can watch this on YouTube, again, simply just under the space between podcasts. That way you can see pictures of Daniel in his Ghostbusters costume when we first started this conversation, and all the efforts that he puts into this world to bring a better life to someone in whatever capacity he can. and then just took us through his journey. If you're wanting to see these photos, definitely log on to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so that you know when a new video comes out, and then subscribe if you're just listening to this on a podcast app. And still so happy that you're doing that. Be sure to subscribe or follow the show. Leave a comment if you're happy. Give us some stars. All of those things push the show out so that people with similar interests can find this show, because that's kind of a hurdle in the world of a billion different podcasts. Is you wouldn't even think that there would be podcasts about Dave Matthews Band, but there are three. So hopefully that's given you some homework to Google, like, what are the three podcasts about Dave Matthews Band? So hopefully just listening to this episode will entice you to do more. But if you're interested in being on the show and sharing your journey, however big, however small, again, I like to say that you never have had to even gone to see them live. That's not part of fanship. That is a side of fanship, but you do not have to have ever seen them live to be a fan of them. And so I invite anyone, no matter your story, you have a journey, and we want to hear it. We are that group of people that want to hear your Dave journey. So you can email me, you can message me through any of the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, TikTok. But you can also email me. This is a really easy email, so you don't even have to write it down. It's just Renae at the space between podcast, dmb.com. So very easy. You can email me and just say, hey, I'm interested in seeing what that process looks like. It is super simple. We just schedule you at whatever time you can record. Daniel, was the process easy for you to get on the show?
Yeah, super easy. I remember when I first messaged you, you did a post on Facebook saying, if you're interested, message me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to message you. I literally wrote my whole story. Like, it's probably the longest Facebook message you've ever had in your life, because I literally gave you everything.
No.
And you're like,
Promise you it wasn't.
yeah. And you're like, yeah, I love to hear your story.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, because I do. I want to tell it. That's how much this band means. And if it makes one person smile or think of a special moment or something, it's good. It's all good. But yeah, super easy process. Do it. If you want to share your story, do it, because every story is a good story. I'm going to learn about you. You're going to learn about me. We're going to learn about each other. Yeah. And celebrate this, celebrate it all.
And at the same time, we're celebrating and we're documenting this side of history, because music history is a form of history. It's important when we think back to the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, the 20s, whatever century, decade, whatever you want to talk about, there's music associated with those times. And so we want to document Dave Matthews Band as a part of music in these times. And so however long we have ahead of us, we want to be sure to continue to document all of this so that it is down for future generations to check out. So again, thank you, Daniel, so much. Guys, stay tuned. Our schedule next year, where will we go? Will we have the opportunity to hear them? And then what in the hell are they doing? What are they planning? Because we never know. Night 2 of the Gorge was proof that we never know what the hell they're going to do. So we keep close tabs on them. So just stay tuned to the podcast. Like I said, if you subscribe, if you follow, it's going to alert you every time a new episode comes out, which is going to be important in these times because it will be so rapidly. So stay tuned. You never know who's going to be on the next episode. We have some really fun ones coming out and some new series that are going to be playing very soon. So we've planned a regular series that's going to be on the show. I can't wait to unveil that to everyone, because if you love learning history about this band, this series will be for you. So stay in tune to see what's going to happen, because there's big things on the way. So again, Daniel, thank you so much. And guys, until the next time, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.
Hey, this is Carolyn, the founder and CEO of the nonprofit safeinharmsway.org. It's an honor to be part of the Space Between podcast family, and very thankful to Renae for offering us time to talk about how people can show up for themselves or someone they love who is experiencing violence in relationships. It's a scary time in our country for people experiencing violence. 80% of the shelters in the United States are closing down due to drastic cuts from the federal government. So shelters are closing their doors and hotline calls are left unanswered. But at Safe in Harm's Way, we're launching a new initiative We were made for this moment, and we're solving the crisis with a brand new campaign called TheLastI'mSorry.com. TheLastI'mSorry.com is a mobile-friendly site that features an interactive platform allowing for any person to identify exactly what they're experiencing and then get 2 immediate and actionable solutions based on the visitor's situation. It's built to be fast, private, and easy to exit because we recognize the danger that survivors may face just by searching for help. SafeInHarmsWay.org believes every person should have the opportunity to find unique help for their safety needs. And that's why TheLastI'mSorry.com was built for men, women, people of color, the queer community, immigrants, and medically compromised people. So check out the show notes. Save the solutions, share the resources, and save a life today.